What did you want to say, Dave, today?
There's no such thing as coincidences.
No such thing as coincidence.
No.
What makes you say that?
Well, I don't think that two events that coincide, that just happen to cause a bit of a surprise in someone's mind, is worth attributing any kind of mystical powers to, or mystical significance.
Okay. Well, I would use the phrase, "Oh, that's just a coincidence," when someone else was saying that these events are mystical.
Sorry, I was thinking about something else. No, I didn't understand. Can you repeat that?
Well, say, I'm thinking about you, and I walk around the corner, and there you are, and I say, "Oh, that was really weird, Dave. I was just thinking about you then," and you can just say, "Well, that's just a mere coincidence. It's not really anything mystic."
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
But you're saying there's no such thing as a coincidence?
Well, it's just a terminological problem, really, that more than a philosophical problem. Yeah, I'll use the word coincidence as myself in the day-to-day life. If that happened to me, I was thinking about Liam with a lot of salience, and all of a sudden there you are in an unexpected place too.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like...
I'll say, what a coincidence.
But I guess you and I might not even bother to say that, would we? Is that what you're getting at?
Not after this conversation, no.
But I think that it's important because
a
proponent of woo-woo might use that as an injunction to a mystical discussion with another woo-woo proponent, as saying, "Oh, that was a really weird coincidence," and "Oh yeah, that happens all the time in the universe." And
I know that's why I think the word disincidence should come into the lexicon.
Okay. Do you want to define your word here, disincidence?
Well, since I can't eradicate coincidence from the lexicon and common parlance, I'm going to attempt to introduce disincidence. And
okay.
A disincidence is when I'm thinking about Liam, and you're in my mind. And I'm at a vegetable shop where I don't normally go to, and then I turn around a corner and you're not there. There's someone else there.
Yeah.
And of course that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how many people would flood through my mind in the course of a day, but I suspect there'd be lots. Well, I know there are lots. And we humans don't see the pattern when there isn't a pattern, for obvious reasons, or I think reasons that are obvious.
Yeah. No pattern isn't a pattern, or unless you're looking for it. Yeah. No pattern is a pattern, really, but not in the strictest sense of perception. Is the human? That I guess that's what we're getting at, is that the human mind looks for patterns. It doesn't look for no patterns.
Yeah. Excuse me. We do look for patterns, and sometimes we find correct patterns, but most of the time we find false ones.
We wouldn't be able to speak if our brains didn't look for patterns at the age of 18 months or 12 months old. A babe looks for patterns in sound through their ears, and then they go, "Oh, hey, there's information here. There's words transpiring."
Yeah, it happens.
I'm saying that the brain's ability to find patterns and learn those patterns is important.
Yeah. And get the significant patterns and the ones that are actually really there.
Yeah.
And that's what science attempts to do as well.
Yeah.
Look for the real patterns. And you're right, our brains do look for the patterns. And sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we get it right. If I'm walking through Rundle Mall, I'm just walking through a sea of people, and if I am waiting to see you, so that I'll be looking out for a guy who looks like you, and my brain is not taking in all the information that's out there. What William James called the booming, buzzing confusion, all that stuff that's out there in the external world. It's just going to focus on the salient features of the landscape, the things I have to avoid, the people I might find interesting, people who fringe festival people, or since this is going to all around the world, I might have to explain that they're people who dress in an idiosyncratic way, so they'll stand out whether I like it or not.
But I guess
I'll see you then.
The brain filters out most information.
It filters out, yeah.
Is that what? Yeah. But I guess it's important for the woo-woo proponent that the brain sort of goes into overdrive pattern finding, doesn't it?
Yeah, they want to look for patterns, and they'll find the patterns that suit their whatever theory or hypothesis they have about the world.
You think the patterns, is it proceed? Is that afterwards? Proceed is afterwards?
I guess it is.
Well, the patterns precede the hypothesis. You have the hypothesis that there's a supreme being, and then you sort of look for the patterns of the supreme being, and
or some sort of order.
Yeah.
In the universe. Well, I think the best example of that is astrology, where and reading astrological the signs or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So you can look at any star sign and what's said, and it's usually you've got financial problems, and you've got there's someone new coming into your life. You've been feeling slightly down, but not too bad. You've had bad and good times in the past, and you'll probably have good times. And it ends on a good note. You'll have good times in the future.
I always found that if I read a star sign that wasn't my own, if it applied to me, then how can another star sign apply to me as well as my own? I think that's the difference. Is that when you go and read your star sign, you go, "Oh, I'm a Taurus. I'll read Taurus." You don't go, "Oh, I'm a Taurus, but I might just read Virgo."
Read all the other 11, isn't there? There's 12.
Well, haven't they changed it recently? Haven't they added one?
I don't know. I'm not up to date. They might have
because of the cosmos shifting or something.
Well, since Pluto was relegated.
So you're born a Taurus, but now you're a Gemini.
Yeah, a lot of them get around it too because you're a Pisces, but the moon is in something. You've got a Taurus moon.
Yeah, the more in detail you look at it, the more accurate we can predict what's going on.
And it's always post hoc reasoning too. So they'll get some information and then say, "I knew that's such a Pisces trait." I was born on the March 14. On March 14.
Yeah.
But I think being a Pisces, one of the traits of being a Pisces is that you don't believe in astrology.
All right.
A feeble attempt at humour.
The Pisces is supposedly the most along the spiritual journey.
Yeah, well, according to some astrologers, I have no doubt that that's the case, and according to their friends who
I'm laughing too much. This is far too rude. We can't put this on the internet.
It's not rude. If someone wants to claim things, repeating myself, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not right to laugh at people, is it?
No, they should know. They should have known in advance. So what are you? I'm a Pisces. What are you?
Oh, I'm a Taurus Gemini.
Yeah, well, that's such a Gemini thing to do, is to laugh. And the astrology people, they should have known that when there's a Gemini and a Pisces getting together, that we'd be rude. I don't think we are being rude, but and who cares if we are? I don't.
I actually read the star sign today.
Yeah, what kind of day?
Some might say that might be a coincidence.
Well, yeah.
How funny that I read it this morning and now we're talking about it.
Do you read it every day though?
No, I just happened to read it this one day. It's a rare.
Well, that might be why it's in your mind, or it came up as a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
That's another thing. How the mind will just associate one thought with another. So
And forget that it was thinking about it.
yeah, if I start talking about my football team losing, I think I could follow back to a bit of reverse engineering and just trace it back to the fact that my football team did lose, and I found out about it via you, and then I might have had my memory jogged by something.
Yeah.
I think that ties up with coincidences too, but it's people looking for the hits and not the misses, and
Yeah.
every psychologist or anyone, any sensible person really knows that.
Yeah.
But is it a concern? I mean, we're probably preaching to the choir here, but is it just a harmless, I don't know, what do you call it, recreation, bit of fun, or has it got some sinister undertones?
I think that's a discussion for another day.
Oh, why not talk about it? Now, we're running out of time. How much
Yeah,
time we got?
probably, yeah.
Okay then.